Hey there guys, and I'm actually going to be providing a little bit of channel update for you. I'm D-Day, by the way, or you can call me Jason, whatever you prefer. It is the 6th that I'm actually doing this. I'm doing it at night. I was actually trying to do it a little bit before night. I had just been screwing up recording, let me be honest. So, let me just clear the air here. Yes, I'm still doing YouTube. Yes, I'm still doing a Tornado. I just took a little hiatus because I got a little sidetracked with a game I cannot capture, or a few games I cannot capture. I actually had 2 games I cannot capture, and 1 I don't plan to capture. So that's the short answer. If you like that answer, great. You want me to give a reason, which is still not a very good reason, but it's just I wanted to play games that I think are newer and I think are more interesting. I like Tornado's good, but I want to play this. What I got was Shin Megami Tensei. It was on sale for $19. I think it was worth $19. And I played it, and I enjoyed it. And I liked it better than Fire Emblem Awakening, which I played and beat both. I pretty much beat both. I will say, if I had to complain anything about Shin Megami Tensei, was the 2 endings were predictable. In fact, I didn't do the other ending. There is a neutral ending, which I don't know where it's going to go, actually. Which I would actually play that again to figure that out. But I will say there's like a chaos ending and a good ending, which I don't think any of them were good endings because they're both kind of bleak. That being said, after I beat this, because it actually took 4 days of my time, but technically it took 31 hours, so technically 2 days out of my time in general, except I slacked on 2 days of playing the game. So it extended itself to 4 days to beat the game. After that, I played... I need to actually look at this because I screw it up all the time. It's called The Legend of Heroes, Tales in the Sky. It's a big-ass, long name for you to say, I swear to God. So I screw that up all the time. So I actually had to read that off Steam, and it's good. I have not beaten it yet. After I played a little bit of it, I kind of dropped off. I mean, I'm still gonna beat it. That's something I'm planning to do. But then after that, I checked the 3DS again, and then it was Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton, and that took up some of my time too. I will say, it wasn't the best of Phoenix Wright or Professor Layton. I cannot point at Professor Layton as much of what I thought was the best. But Phoenix Wright, I'm pretty sure I already got an idea of what was the best. And the best of Phoenix Wright, I haven't played the newer one that was for 3DS, by the way, the Phoenix Wright. But as it stands right now, the first Phoenix Wright probably was the best Phoenix Wright game. Just going to throw it out there. And there's a reason for that. There is a reason. First off, at least I think is a reason. The freakouts were so much better on the first one. I mean, I'll even go into the Versus here. Versus had a cool freakout for the first trial, and that was about it. That's all they did. One freakout that was actually worth mentioning. It was technically not even the person that got convicted. It was actually the wordsmith, I think he called himself, which is pretty much unemployed. And I actually noted that freakout. That's like, that is definitely a Phoenix Wright freakout. But the freakouts on the first one were the best. They're just so awesome. And also how the ending of the first Phoenix Wright kind of, I liked how it teached you how to play the game. You always press, then you present the conflicting evidence. And that was pretty cool on Phoenix Wright, right? Don't get me wrong. And how they ended that, it was pretty much everything you learned was useless at the end of the last trial. The last trial was like useless because of how everything worked. Because normally you were told to press all the time and then present the evidence that conflicts. On the last one, you actually have to hold back evidence. You actually have to get to the point where you're pretty much, I'm not sure if you actually had to go into, because there's actually like a give up part. I'm not sure if you actually had to like say give up, and then the person on trial or on the stand pretty much says something that pretty much opens up into a bigger thing, and then he pretty much Phoenix Wright tears him a new one. Which I always liked that feeling. That was that little part. It just felt like overcoming someone on Phoenix Wright. That the first one that the other Phoenix Wrights don't have at all. So that's about it. I know I wasted a little bit of time about how I felt about the Phoenix Wright ones. I cannot actually tell you or point out any of the Professor Laytons. I played a bunch of them, but I cannot recall which one I felt was better. I'm sure, certainly, that the Versus one doesn't have the best puzzles as the other Professor Laytons had, nor does the Phoenix Wright are the best trials in the game. But I will say that I feel the Phoenix Wright parts are the weakest point in the game, because I felt like I was in trials more than I was doing the puzzles. I didn't feel like there was enough balance. The Phoenix Wright parts took longer because there was multiple people on stands, and you're pressing everybody, and it just seemed a little bit slower than the other games to even get through the text and read all the text and all that crap. So there's that. And after I beat this game, I sprained my ankle. So I didn't want to do shit, which I was actually going to do a recording that day. After I was walking my dog, and I pretty much rolled my ankle because there was a road. I was on the side of the road, part where there's dirt, and I'm walking my dog, and I roll, and I'm glad I didn't fall on the dog, because I thought I fucked up my leg really bad. In fact, I kind of did. I had to miss work for one day. I'm actually coming back in actually tonight, so I'm trying to actually get this video out of the way. So after that, I've been out of commission for about 4 or 5 days. Then I get back on and realize Sims 4 just came out, and I did not buy it. Because EA burned me all the time. It burned me out a long time ago. When I bought it, I thought Black and White 2 was when I first started getting burned by EA, alright? I thought Black and White 2 sucked. Black and White 1 was bomb, by the way. So I actually feel that I was justified for actually downloading the game illegally and cracking it. And I justified it even more because I decided that the game's not worth $60. I will say it's worth $30, and that's it. It's not even worth $70 for that deluxe package. In fact, I'll get into that. I'll say the deluxe package should not be divided from the base game, because the game doesn't already have enough as it is, and you're taking away that for the DLC. I just don't get it. And let me get into this, because I actually had Sims 1, Sims 2. I think I had most of the... on the first Sims, I had all the expansions. I think on 2, I had most of the expansions except for maybe 2. And I'll get into this. Even though I might have vague memories of Sims, I think the first Sims had pools. I know it didn't have diving boards, but it had pools. It had a ladder to go into the pool. And then it had an expansion with a diving board. Then Sims 2 had a pool, had a diving board. Sounds like an upgrade. Sounds really good. And there's more reasons why, and I'll actually get into that too, why Sims 4 doesn't live up to anything that it should be, actually. One, I think, is really a killer for me. So, anyway, then Sims 3 comes around. You have pool. You don't have a diving board. There's an expansion for that. And let me be honest, that's fine. At least it's on par with Sims, right? The first one, right? And there's an expansion for it, so that's cool. And then you have Sims 4, no pool, no diving board. Is that separated for an expansion? Could be. Could be also that they made a new engine. Could be that too. I will say the new engine for Sims 4 is really good. I'll say that it's pretty good. Except they're missing key features, like there's no robbers. They took out a lot of the random factors in the Sims, which kind of sucks. They also, compared to Sims 3, They don't have like stories that like interweave. They age. They all age. They die. But they don't have they don't have a chance of having a family. They don't have a chance to carry on their lineage. They don't have that chance on this one. If you don't intervene, and you're not playing as them, they age, they die. Then the game re-renders or whatever, picks new Sims to occupy these houses. So there's that. You can actually make it so they don't age. I guess that's one way around it. But the thing is, nothing ever happens then. And another thing is, I feel claustrophobic just sticking in the house because I'm afraid I don't feel like going through loading times with Sims 4. It's just crazy. I can't go to the neighbor's house and just visit the neighbor's house just seamlessly. I cannot do that. I actually have to go through a loading screen, and yeah. It's just all these small things that add up to something that I feel Sims 4 does not deserve the $60. I will say, I also feel they could have made a seamless loading, made the game seamlessly loading, at least most of the parts, at least your neighbors. You could have done that. And the reason I feel that is the engine does look a little better than Sims 3, but it doesn't seem like a big upgrade. It seems like a decent computer could handle a lot more than what they shown. So that's about there. And also, I checked Metacritic. I don't think it's a 0. I'm not even sure if I even said this. I don't think there's I don't think Sims 4 is worth a 0 or a 1. But there's a bunch of them, and I understand why. They don't want you to pay $60. They want this game to be cheaper because it deserves to be cheaper. It does not deserve to be $60. But if I wanted to give an honest review and not biased about it, I'll say it's a 6.5 because I lean on the 7, but there's a reason for it. Even though that is a high review, it's just what I feel there isn't worth it. And I think I might update with a new video today, maybe, if I'm not tired from working. And then I might actually do tomorrow. Or if I don't do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. So that's about it. I'm making sure I do it by the 7th. I'll have at least some video by the 7th, by maybe the end of the day. So anyway, see you later, guys, and bye.